Okay, this is week 7, nervous system, vocab recall, part 3, final part. I'm going to say the definition as usual, twice, and please give your answer. Let's go. The 7th, cranial nerve that controls facial expression. The 7th, cranial nerve that controls facial expression. Facial nerve. A protective network of blood vessels and cells filtering blood to the brain. A protective network of blood vessels and cells filtering blood to the brain. Blood-brain barrier, BBB. The 2nd cranial nerve that connects to the eye. The 2nd cranial nerve that connects to the eye. Optic nerve. Any one of a number of chemicals that modify or result in the transmission of nerve impulses between synapses. Any one of a number of chemicals that modify or result in the transmission of nerve impulses between synapses. Neurotransmitter. The 4th cranial nerve that controls the superior oblique muscle of the eye. The 4th cranial nerve that controls the superior oblique muscle of the eye. Trochlear nerve. The sensory root of a spinal nerve. The sensory root of the spinal nerve. Dorsal root. The 11th cranial nerve, and it controls movement in the head, neck, and shoulders. The 11th cranial nerve, and it controls the movement in the head, neck, and shoulders. Spinal accessory nerve. An involuntary reaction. An involuntary reaction. Reflex. The 6th, the cranial nerve, and it controls the muscle that moves the eye outward. Like that. 6th cranial nerve, and it controls the muscle that moves the eye outward. Abducens nerve. The motor root of a spinal nerve. The motor root of a spinal nerve. Ventral root. The 9th cranial nerve that controls taste, salivation, and swallowing. The 9th cranial nerve that controls taste, salivation, and swallowing. Glossopharyngeal nerve. The 12 nerves that come out from or enter the cranium. 12 nerves that come out from or enter the cranium. Cranial nerves. The point of connection between two nerve cells, or a nerve cell with either a muscle cell or a secretory cell. The point of connection between two nerve cells, or a nerve cell with either a muscle cell or a secretory cell. Synapse. The third cranial nerve that controls muscles in and around the eye. The third cranial nerve that controls muscles in and around the eye. Oculomotor nerve. The eighth cranial nerve that controls hearing and balance. The eighth cranial nerve that controls hearing and balance. Vestibulocochlear nerve. The first cranial nerve that registers smell and is the only nerve in the body that can continually regenerate. Lucky nerve. The first cranial nerve that registers smell and is the only nerve in the body that can continually regenerate. Olfactory nerve. Clear liquid circulating around the brain and the spinal cord. The clear liquid circulating around the brain and the spinal cord. Cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. The 10th cranial nerve that contains somatic motor, somatic sensory, and parasympathetic motor functions. The 10th cranial nerve that contains somatic motor, somatic sensory, and parasympathetic motor functions. Vagus nerve. The 5th cranial nerve functions as both motor nerves for chewing and sensory nerves for the face. The 5th cranial nerve functions as both motor nerves for chewing and sensory nerves for the face. Trigeminal nerve. One more, last one. The 12th cranial nerve that controls tongue movement. The 12th cranial nerve that controls tongue movement. Hypoglossal nerve. Correct. That's it. Part 3. It's finished. Well done.